All right, everyone, and welcome back to the Burn Bootcamp podcast. Again, to the gratitude series, the last installment here. If you want us to continue reading our gratitude messages, our postcards, any material that we get, our fan mail, if you want us to continue to open what you send and read it and react to it, let us know by commenting and reviewing us in Apple Podcasts. Okay, go to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, and then also let me know if you really like this series or anything with it struck a chord for you. Here is installment 3. All right, of our gratitude series, and it opens up with Noel Mikowski. All right, Noel. Burn Bootcamp to me means being my best self. Being my best self. And I want to know, what does being your best self mean to you? Have you taken a moment to think about that? Do you have a version of yourself that is exciting, that you want to push for? Do you have a vision? Part of reading these puts me into the mindset to kind of be there with Noel back before this wasn't true, right? Before she did, because in order to be her best self now, there was a version of herself in the past that she didn't think was her best self, that she had a gap from where she was to where she wanted to be. And, you know, I know that Noel has defined what her best self is and used Burn as just a tool to step into her best self. And if you don't know what that is, then it's going to be really hard to find out. So I think, Noel, you bring up an amazing undertone to your gift of gratitude here. Thank you so much. But you really bring up awareness, self-awareness. Where am I going into the future, and where am I at today? Because if I don't know where I am and where I'm going, that's called being lost. And there are some pretty deep gifts of gratitude in here that do mention being lost, and I'm sure we'll come across one. Morgan and Devan, I first walked into the floating floor almost 4 years ago during a very difficult time in my personal and professional life. Burn quickly became my constant, my daily time for me, and my non-negotiable. This community of awesome trainers has changed my life, and I am so grateful, and I promise to pay it forward. Pamela Betts. I love that, Pamela. And your promise, I can feel it. I emphasize promise because I can feel that in your writing. You pressed that pen down a little bit harder when you said promise, because I know how much Burn has impacted you, and paying it forward is the only way to master something. So you can experience the change, but to master the change and to have it be permanent so it never goes anywhere, that level of mastery requires you to pay it forward. It requires you to be so good at it that you can teach it to other people, right? And obviously then your lifelong goal is to maintain that, right? Maintain that level of inspiration, that level of desire to be paying it forward, and you have to continue to learn. We have to continue to grow, and there's going to be more personal and professional struggles. And Pamela, as a professional, the last few years have been a pretty tough time for all professionals, being in and out of such a upside down economy and an upside down world, that I really feel that our trainers in St. Louis really helped you a ton. And so I look forward to you paying it forward. And when you do pay it forward, Pamela Betts, you tell me who you're paying it forward to, and I want to make sure that we take that person and we hug them together, because that's what leaders do, right? Leaders build leaders. This is from Kim Hannon from Manchester. She said, "Thank you. I walked into Burn 3 years ago on a 7-day trial. I signed an 18-month membership on day 7. From that day forward, every area of my life has consistently improved. My self-esteem, my faith, my relationships, my confidence, my mental health, my goals, and my body." And I think that is so powerful, Kim, because the last thing that you mention is your body. And the first thing that you mention is your self-esteem and your faith and your confidence and your mental health and your goals and your relationships. And that is the fruit of life. Those are the things that fitness is actually for. Fitness is not to get a six-pack. could get one if you want one, but it's not for that. What it's really for is to test your character, to test your will, to show you how strong that you really are, and to prove that you can exceed what you ever thought possible for yourself. And if anyone ever tells you otherwise, that it's about your body, that it's about your body fat, that it's about your biometrics, that it's about stepping on a scale, that it's about putting a tape around your waist, or that it's about measuring how tall you are, measuring how big around the circumference of your arms are, none of that has anything to do with your character. What we're doing at Burn Bootcamp is we're building character, because character is the prerequisite to handling the things that you're going to have to handle, the problems you'll have to overcome, the obstacles you'll face to become the future self that will be able to get to all those goals that you mentioned. And if your goals are big enough, then you have to become an elevated, more enhanced future version of yourself. And that confidence will keep growing, and your self-esteem will keep growing, your faith in your relationships will keep growing, your goals, you'll continue to set them higher, and because you're going to the gym showing up for those things, your body will be a byproduct of that, my friend. Okay, man, I love these. This is so fun to read. I hope you guys are having fun, okay? We chose to do just a three episode series because we have our surprise episodes every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I want to know if this is like the type of stuff that gets you going. Like, do you like hearing from your fellow members and your fellow peers and fitness enthusiasts? Or do you want me to bring more questions forward? Or do you want me to talk about something completely different? Or do you want me to shut up? You could also say that too. That's fine too. Oh, Morgan and Devan, thanks for working hard for the dream to empower women and to be fit and strong mentally and physically. Burn has become my actual family in MO. We pray together, we work together, we work out together, laugh together, and love each other relentlessly. Kathy. I just got the chills. This is my favorite one. Because as we come together as greater Burn Nation, each individual member and each individual community, and today there are 351, all 351 locations have a group of women who pray together, work out together, laugh together, and love on each other. And if I couldn't have said it better. That is the sauce. That is the sisterhood. That is the collective bond. The collective bond is not showing up and doing push-ups and getting muscles. The collective bond it starts there, right? The accountability starts to show up and get to camp, and it starts when you guys all simultaneously like look at me when I have you do some like crazy mud up and you like roll your eyes and you're actually in contest and in contempt in a jokingly way of like my exercise that I just put out there because you know you're unified, you're bonded. And that is our relationship, is I throw something out there that you doubt, and then you doubt yourself, because we all do, but you've overcome that enough times to know better, and you look at your sisters and your brothers to the left and right of you, and you look at each other to say, yeah, he's crazy, but we got this. And we're going to do this together. And when you pray together, when you work out together, when you work together, when you laugh together, you love together, you're doing this. And what you said was, you're doing exactly what I'm talking about. And you said, at the very end, you said, relentlessly. Relentlessly. That means without any break. That means without consideration. That means without second guessing yourself. That means with fortitude, with an unstoppable attitude. You can be stopped unless you choose to be unstoppable, and relentless is the choice to be unstoppable. Kathy, you're amazing. I know you're the nucleus of that group that prays together, works out together, laughs together, loves together, because I could feel it radiating off this card. There's an energy to that, Kathy. Burn means self-confidence, the ability to believe that I can do hard things. Listen to that. It's not that you can't. It's that you haven't yet. It's the ability to do hard things. The ability to believe that I can and I will and I must overcome myself to do these hard things. And then I get that strength. And this is from Jen A. from Manchester. It means that self-confidence. and the ability to believe. Guys, belief is an ability. Some of y'all are overthinkers. Some of y'all just need to stop thinking so much. You just need to turn on that belief. Turn the belief up a little bit and turn the like the practical inquisitions way down. Like, you don't need to question everything all the time. Show up. Know that there's a version of you on the other side of hard. You don't know exactly what that has to look like, but show up knowing that hard and the pain that you experience from the hard things is the exercise of your natural ability to believe. Because you'll show up, and if you just believe, you'll show up, and when you show up, you'll do the work, and when you do the work, it'll reinforce your belief. And then you'll go again and again and again, and it's called the positive momentum cycle, that cycle of momentum. But if you believe the opposite way, it'll go the opposite way as well, and that's the downside. If you kind of believe or you don't believe, and you say, oh, this thing isn't going to really work out, I'll try it, but this whole thing, it's like community fitness. What's that like? It's supposed to like make me feel good about myself? I don't believe it, but I'll try it anyway. All right, and then you're going to go and you're going to show up because, us Burn crazy people, we're going to keep tapping and knocking on your door until you get in our van or a car and you drive to the gym with us and you actually try it. Or we just stop being friends, either way. Just kidding. But not really, that happens. Because, I forgot where I was going with that, but I think it's very important to, how do you say, have the ability to show up first to reinforce that belief. Oh yeah, it's the positive cycle of belief, but you also have the negative cycle of belief. So if you don't believe something, it doesn't get reinforced when you actually do the action, and then you get a chance to say, oh, I told you so. I told you it wasn't going to work. So you can also reinforce a negative cycle of belief too. But that's not happening here. I just want to make sure that you guys know it can go one of two ways. All in with your belief. If you have some skepticism, if you know that it's going to be good for you. All in. Burn has been a safe place for me. It's like my other family, and I don't know what I would do without Burn. And that comes from Allie. And on the same card, Burn has made me feel like I have another family. I've only been here for a few months, and the love is so desirable. Wow, that's super powerful. And that comes from Iman, I think is her name. Some of y'all writing in cursive on this. I haven't written in cursive since, like second grade or something. I don't know whether that's an E or an L. But at the end of the day, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you guys. It is undesirable. It is desirable. There's an insatiable hunger to show up to camp, even though that you know that it's hard, because of the love that will be in that room. And the no matter what people that'll be in that room. Okay, last one. I don't want it to be the last one. These are so great. Okay, I'm going to just pick a random one in the middle. Last one, all right? If you guys would like me to continue, like I said, you know where to go. Apple Podcast reviews, let me know. Personally, I have been going through a very tough year in my marriage. If it wasn't for God and Burn together, I honestly would not have the emotional strength to get through it. The workouts at home during the pandemic allowed me to get strong physically and mentally. Ooh, it's a backside. I have met some wonderful fellow Burn members who have reached out to me to make sure that I am okay. I am okay. Actually, I'm far more than okay. I'm a much better person because of Burn and because of those who inspire strong women around me. Thank you so much, Ime. Wow, that's powerful. Sometimes when you get to the lowest of lows and you feel like there's nowhere to go, and a lot of you, I'm not here to tell you what to believe in, but obviously a lot of you believe in God, and that's oftentimes the person, the entity, the being you turn to in your life when things are getting hard. And for me as well. But Burn together along with that basically says that it is, it is myself and God in a room at all times, but it also is me, myself, and I. And it also is me, myself, and the people around me, because it takes a tribe. It takes a community. We go back to like the very beginnings of human history, tens of thousands of years ago. And, we've been tribal and communal ever since day one. And we need each other to survive. We needed someone to tend the children, to go hunt for food, to make sure that we were safe, to be on lookout. We needed each other to survive. And to me, this is the family that I never had. It is my mechanism for survival. And it is how my worldview is shaped. To be able to get to the bottom of all bottoms and have the potential to get to the bottom of all bottoms at all times, but to never be scared of it. Because you know that when you do get there, most of us will get there, because life is tragic and people get sick and people die and life is mostly tragedy, and you will get there. But it's most important the character that you build from now until you do get there. Because when that time happens, you can crumble or you can be the shoulder that everybody else leans on. You can be the leader, or you can let that event be your ultimate demise. And when you're at rock bottom, you all know this, there's only one way to go, and that's up. But sometimes you need that brotherhood, you need that sisterhood to reach out their hand and to say, hey, I know you don't want to get up right now, but you're worth getting up right now. And if you don't believe that you're worth getting up right now, here's a hand of confidence. Here's an encouraging word. I believe in you more than you believe in you. And that very notion oftentimes is all people need to get from the gutter, where they're face down, thinking that life is hopeless. And when you say that you honestly would not have built the emotional strength to get through it without God and burn, I believe you. Life's hard. Sometimes we don't have it intrinsically. Sometimes it's not there. And so, Ime, I thank you for being vulnerable in this gift of gratitude to me, and reinforcing that this community, in any community, and every person needs their team. They need the people around them that are going to be no matter what people, that are going to follow the same core principles and core values and life mission, speak the same language on the way to get there, and always be willing to reach out with a hand and an encouraging word when times are their toughest. So that's it. I have a lot more, and I don't want to continue to move on with these unless you guys love it. So if you love it, let me know by commenting in Apple Podcast reviews, or review the podcast in general. Flex on the subscribe button. YouTube, podcast, double biceps, 2 claps on 2.